Alright guys, Monday, February the 7th, 2022. Indoor project tonight. We're trying to disassemble the seat. Looks to be fairly straightforward on the Alfa seats. We do have this tear to address here. We're going to try to address on the driver's side seat bottom. But the rest of the seats look pretty good. The foam looks good. They have a good shape to them. So I think what we're going to do initially is we'll take the back off the seat. It looks like there's only two large Phillips screws to be able to take the back off. And then we're going to attempt to take the base off. It looks like the base is pretty much detached from the bottom here. And there's really only a strip of fabric and a metal plate. And I'll show you that in the back that kind of keeps the seat bottom attached to the bottom of the seat. So let's go ahead and take the back off, and then we'll have a look at detaching the seat base from the bottom, or the seat bottom from the base. Whatever way you want to look at it. Alright, so we're trying to detach the back from the base, and it looks to be only two Phillips screws here, one on this side and obviously one on the other, that should release the back from the base. So let's go ahead and undo these two screws, and we'll see if that back comes off as intended. Alright, seat base is off, and there really is no need to actually undo the top bolts. You can actually pry the bottoms off, the pins here, and that will separate the base. So we've got that separated now. Now we're going to try to take the cover off, and that looks to be fairly easy. There's this bar here, this little aluminum bar, and there's these two tabs that sort of slides under, I believe. So first thing we're going to attempt to do is pull this tab out and see if we can slide it to release these pins. That's the first thing we're going to try. And then if that doesn't work, we'll go for plan B. Alright, on the back I mentioned there's just this little aluminum piece that runs from one side to the other all the way across the back through a pocket in the rear of the material, and it's just got these two little pins here. And if I basically have a look here, there's these little hooks basically that just hook this little bar underneath to keep this piece of fabric taut and attached to the seat bottom. So that's all it is basically, and you know, that little aluminum piece fits underneath, and they bang the tabs down and that keeps it in place. So that's released, so hopefully we can release the seat bottom now from the seat pan. Alright, we've got the seat bottoms detached, and actually the foam is in really good condition. There's nothing degrading as far as the foam is concerned. I see we've got a broken spring here, so we'll need to replace that, and we'll do a few little bits of work in here while we've got the seat bottom undone. So you'll see a little bit of paint here. Actually, it's the paint flaking off the bottom of the seat pan, and we have a little bit of surface rust down there to contend with where that paint has flaked off. So what we'll do is we'll wire brush that and rust treat it, and we'll give this seat bottom a fresh coat of paint before we install the seat base back on when we get it repaired, if we can get it repaired. So this will go off to the repair shop, and we'll see what kind of magic they can do, and once we get it back, we'll get it reinstalled in the car. Alright. Alright guys, now Tuesday the 8th of February, and we are back out in the garage, and we received our carpet samples. So let's have a little carpet discussion. Alright, if you're new to the channel, this is my 1981 Alfa Romeo Spider Veloce, and we'd stripped the interior previously in order to get it ready for new carpet, and we've just received some carpet samples, so we're going to go through those and have a look what we received, to see if Doc, the new owner of this car, can sort of pick from these little tiny squares. It's a really tough challenge when the samples are so small. But what I'm going to do is going to try to show you these samples that I have here compared to the original carpet color, and I've uncovered the areas that did not see any sun. So the original carpet color here, we're going to compare these colors versus the original carpet color. We're then going to bring the swatches over and compare them versus the seat color, the stock seat color. And then we're going to compare those colors to something like the door panels. And then we are going to compare them to something like the dash, the black dash. So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll be able to make Doc's decision a little bit easier. You guys can weigh in on what colors you prefer. I was thinking about setting this up as a poll. I'm not sure whether that'll work too well. There might be too many options. There's 10 different color samples here. So we'll see. You can make your comment in the comment section if I don't actually put a physical poll up on the YouTube channel. I might put a poll up. You can vote there if you like, or you can just leave it in the comment section below. All right, let's go. All right, let's take a look of the samples that we received from World Upholstery. There's 3 different types of carpet here on display at 3 different price points. The cheapest being this nylon loop carpet. And realistically, this nylon loop, and let me grab a flashlight here. So this nylon loop, I would say, closely resembles what actually came from the factory in 1981. So the nylon loop, as far as matching the material is concerned, would be the closest option, and apparently the cheapest option. The second option is called a domestic pile, and basically this is the same as the nylon loop, except the loops have been shaved. So I think that's the only difference between the domestic pile and the loop carpet, is the loops have just been shaved down. So we've got 4 different samples of the domestic carpet here to have a look at. The next expensive option up is called German velour, and this is something that was never offered in the Alfa Romeos. It was offered more in the Mercedes-Benz and Porsche sort of line, so it is significantly more expensive than the domestic nylon, but it's definitely cheaper than the wool carpets. Now the wool carpets were offered, I believe, on the very early Alfas, like 69 and prior. Similar to like Triumphs, Triumphs offered a Wilton wool carpet option, and I believe Alphas originally had some Wilton wool carpets as well. Now Wilton wool, or English wool as they call it on the World Upholstery site, is very expensive. It is at least double or triple the price of something like the domestic pile. All right, I've got the stock carpet set up under some LED lights. We're just going to put these little samples in view, and we'll have a quick look. I'm not sure how well this will come out in the camera, but it's the best I can do, so here we go. Let's start with, we'll go dark to light. So let's go with basic black. We're going to do the loop carpets first. So here is number 900 black. .610 brown. .621 saddle. All right, domestic nylon, 1900, black. .810, brown. .854, caramel. And .851, biscuit. All right, onto the German velour, 5008, brown. .5016, saffron. .5013, palomino. Okay, there are the samples versus the original carpet. All right, carpet versus seats. 900 in the nylon loop, black. 610, brown. 621, saddle. And then the domestic, 1900, black. 810, brown. 854, caramel. And 851, biscuit. German velour, 5008, brown. 5016, saffron. 5013, palomino. Alright, we've got a trim piece off which matches the door panels. So let's go back through the colors for that. Black, 900, brown, 610, saddle, 621, into the nylon, black, 1900, brown, 810, caramel, 854, biscuit, 851, and then into the German velour, 5008, brown, 5016, saffron, and 5013, palomino. Alright, I've got the center console just propped up here. Let's do this again one more time. So nylon loop, black, 900, brown, $610, saddle, 621, nylon, domestic nylon, black, 1900, brown, 810, caramel, 854, biscuit, 851, and then to the German brown, 5008, saffron, 5016, palomino, 5013. Alright, I know this is going to be a little bit of a tough challenge, and hopefully this camera is able to show you some of the differences in the colors in front of you here versus the car parts, and hopefully that they'll be somewhat accurately represented on your computer monitor. Anyway, as mentioned, we'll set this up as a poll so you can actually vote. We'll also leave the comment section open so you can comment if there's perhaps a color that you like that you don't see here. You can also mention that in the comments. We were trying to keep fairly close to the tones that the car originally came with. Obviously we went with some darker tones like the blacks and the dark browns as an option, but I'll be interested to read your comments and see how the voting goes. Alright, we'll see you back out here tomorrow. Thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing.